Welcome back to Trust Your Oats. I'm your host, Dale Tenhulzen. In our last episode, we talked about the promise on the package, that gluten-free label. We learned that while it's a regulated, meaningful standard, it's only the end of a very long story. A story that, for oats, is filled with challenges. We talked about cross-contact and how naturally gluten-free oats are often contaminated by the very agricultural system they're grown in. So, how do you solve a problem that's everywhere? You don't start at the end by trying to clean up a contaminated product. You start at the very beginning, before the farm, before the field, before a single root ever touches the soil. It all begins with the seed. This is episode 2, Trust the Seed. If you're going to build a strong house, you start with a solid foundation and a reliable blueprint. In gluten-free farming, the seed is both. It's the genetic blueprint for the crop and the foundation upon which every promise of purity is built. You can't just go to a general supplier and buy a bag of oat seed, plant it, and hope for the best. That bag of seed has likely been handled by the same equipment and stored in the same bins as wheat, barley, and rye. The contamination is already there. The blueprint is already compromised. This is where a core component of a true purity protocol comes in. Certified seed, sometimes called pedigreed seed. Think of it as a birth certificate for the seed. A certified seed program is a rigorous third-party system that verifies a seed's integrity. It guarantees two critical things: varietal purity. It ensures the seed is the exact oat variety it claims to be, without other rogue seeds mixed in. Physical purity. It meets strict standards for low levels of other crop seeds, including gluten-containing grains. In a robust purity protocol system, farmers don't just buy seed off the open market. They are often supplied with a specific, controlled variety of oat seed that has been grown, harvested, and handled within a closed loop. Every batch is tested and documented. We know its history. We know it's clean. It's the first non-negotiable step, because if you don't start with a pure seed, you're fighting a losing battle from day one. Once you have a pure seed, the next question is, where do you plant it? A field isn't just a patch of dirt. A field has a memory, and that memory is stored in the soil. If a farmer grew wheat or barley in a field last year, some of those seeds inevitably fell to the ground during harvest. Those leftover seeds can lie dormant in the soil, waiting. When you come back the next year to plant oats, those old seeds can wake up and sprout right alongside your new crop. These are called volunteer plants, and in the world of gluten-free farming, they are our biggest adversaries. Wheat, barley, and rye seeds can survive in the soil for several years, sometimes up to 3 or 4, depending on the conditions. This means you can't just rotate crops from one year to the next. That field's memory is too long. This is why any legitimate purity protocol has a strict field history requirement. Before a field is approved for growing gluten-free oats, it must have been free from any gluten-containing crops for a minimum of 3 and sometimes 4 years. This multi-year break serves one primary purpose: to starve out the soil's seed bank. It gives those old volunteer seeds time to either germinate and be eliminated or to lose their viability. It effectively makes the field forget it ever grew gluten. Even a handful of volunteer wheat plants scattered across a 10-acre field can produce enough gluten-containing kernels to contaminate an entire harvest, pushing it far above that 20 parts per million safety threshold. So, we trust the seed first. Then, we trust the soil it's planted in. So we have a pure seed and a clean field. But that seed has to get from its bag to the soil, and later the harvested oats have to get from the field to a storage bin, then to a truck, and eventually to a mill. Every single point of contact is a risk. This is where the concept of chain of custody becomes critical. It's a documented trail that proves the oats have been protected at every single step. It's the paperwork that backs up the promise. It starts with the equipment. A farmer can't use the same planter or combine that they used for their wheat crop last week. The risk of leftover grain hiding in the machinery is just too high. There are two solutions. First, and best, is dedicated equipment. Many farmers in our program have combines, trucks, and augers used only for their gluten-free oats. It never touches a gluten-containing grain, ever. When that's not possible, the second option is a meticulous, documented cleaning process. This isn't just a quick sweep, it's a full teardown, using compressed air and vacuums to clean every nook and cranny. After cleaning, they'll often perform what's called a purge run or a flush run. They'll run a small amount of clean oats through the machine, a combine for example, and that first batch is discarded. It acts like a final rinse, flushing out any stubborn residue that might have been missed. This entire process, the seed source, the field history, the equipment cleaning logs, the storage records, is documented. It's a transparent system built on the philosophy of start clean, stay clean. It's proactive prevention, not reactive cleanup. It's how we build a chain of trust, link by link. Trusting the seed isn't just about the seed itself. It's about trusting the system built around it. A system that honors the memory of the field and respects the risk at every point of contact. It's a slow, deliberate, and often difficult process, but it's the only way to create a product that is truly pure from the very beginning. Thank you for joining me. On our next episode, we'll step into the field itself. We'll talk about what purity protocol growing looks like during the season, from isolation buffers to walking the fields to rogue out any suspicious plants. We'll learn how to trust the field.